Logan is finally here and is directed and co-written by James Mangold and stars Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Boyd Holbrook, Richard E. Grant, Stephen Merchant, and introducing Daphne Keane. It is the final film for Hugh Jackman playing the eponymous character, and it shows a story of Logan having to care for Charles Xavier, who is now a very, very old man. His own mind is failing him, and Logan himself is dying. The adamantium that made him the most powerful weapon in the world is slowly killing him. His eyesight is failing. He has severe joint pains. Every part of him is slowly creaking away to the point of death. His healing factor is slowing down. Every time he gets hurt, he feels it. He feels that pain, that true, deep pain that any other mortal man feels. It isn't just Logan caring for an old man while also feeling so hurt and broken. It is a story about hope, because into both of Logan and Xavier's lives comes Laura, a new mutant who is very, very much like Logan. And Xavier sees her as this shining new beacon of hope. Hope for a mutant future, even against the fact that no mutant has been born for 20 years, that they're nearly extinct. He still has that hope within him. Logan rejects it, of course, because he's Logan. He's a selfish person who always wants to run away from his problems rather than face them. But because Laura is so alike to Logan, he has to face it. He has no other choice. He doesn't have anything left. He's given every bit of fight that he has in his entire life, and now he has to care for something. How can he do that? This film answers that, and what an answer it gives. Logan is truly a great film. First and foremost, forget about X-Men Origins Wolverine, forget about the Wolverine. They do not hold a candle to this. This was incredible because of so many reasons. Hugh Jackman gives his greatest performance as Logan. This is an actor who has defined this role for 17 years straight. We will never ever think about Wolverine in any other light than what Hugh Jackman made the character as. It is an incredible experience to watch Hugh Jackman give every single part of himself to this final performance. Not only does Hugh Jackman still have that fire within him, that passion for showing how Wolverine can slice people apart and rip limbs off, and that power does emanate off the screen, fuels you. But Logan is also deeply about the quieter moments, and Hugh Jackman has those. There are two particular scenes in Logan that just deeply shook me. Every single part of me was broken in those moments because of Hugh Jackman, because of this story. When you see the film, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In those moments, Hugh Jackman's acting is perfect. What he gives to this role is perfection. There could have never been a better way to say farewell to a character that not only has he defined so perfectly for the last 17 years, but a performance, a character that has been so influential to me ever since I was 8 years old and I first saw X-Men 1 and 2, and I was just shocked by Hugh Jackman. I wanted to be Wolverine so badly when I was a kid, and to see him go out like this was everything. Everything I ever wanted, and more. Patrick Stewart is perfect as well. He, in a shocking turn of events, has said that this will be his last performance as Professor Xavier, which was like, oh, wait, what? No, because Patrick Stewart also completely defined what Professor Xavier really was. He was pitch perfect casting back in 2000, and he gives a pitch perfect performance here in Logan. We're seeing a very old man deal with the fact that he really has nothing. Logan and Xavier both have nothing left to fight for. That's what they feel like. Even as Laura comes into their lives, Xavier still just doesn't feel right. He still feels broken. Something is missing inside of him because he's a teacher without students. They're all gone. That hope that he had for the future is gone. He wants it for Laura, but he's just not seeing it from Logan. And it's crushing. It's so heartbreaking to see him in this state. He gives his best ever performance as Professor Xavier. Jackman and Stewart as Logan and Xavier just work so well with each other. And not only that, but the debut performance from Daphne Keane as Laura X-23 is incredible. We're seeing an 11-year-old girl just completely rip apart an entire legion of soldiers like it's nothing. She has this wonderful strength about her, this quiet, passionate insecurity and emotional depth that you only see from the best child actors. She is a femme fatale at only 11 years old, and it works so well for this film. There are some really good supporting performances as well from Boyd Holbrook, Stephen Merchant and Richard E. Grant. Stephen Merchant, who outside of this is just known for comedy, but here in Logan, he gives some great dramatic depth in his role as Caliban, someone who used to be an enemy of the X-Men, but now he's helping Logan. Sure, he has a few little fun moments, but they still come at the cost of Caliban's integrity. He himself is dealing with the fact that, can he be a hero? Is he innately a villain if he's helping villains? It's a great dynamic. Richard E. Grant and Boyd Holbrook play the main antagonists of the movie, and while they do really good work for what they're given as these slimy, conniving people who are ruthless in their ambitions, but I found that sometimes they're a little bit underdeveloped. Some of the story arcs that they were given just didn't really flesh out all too well for me. I wanted a little bit more, but you can kind of forgive that because Logan is more about Logan. It is more about his story than anyone else's. I wanted a little bit more development for those antagonists, but I still got a great character-driven piece of cinema. Logan feels like a piece of cinema because of its technical aspects, because of its direction. The technical aspects, such as the cinematography by John Matheson, the editing by Michael McCusker, and the score from Marco Beltrami, all are so strong, especially Matheson's cinematography, the way that he's able to structure his camera and these beautiful shots just echoing great classic Western films. It's so dynamic. It's so wonderful to see that in a comic book movie. And the director, James Mangold, he was the perfect choice for this. He was the only choice for this story. He finally gets the Wolverine story that you can tell he's always wanted to tell. He soaks this movie in Western influences and blood and sweat and whiskey and tears, and it works so perfectly. Logan does have that brutality and that shocking nature of like, holy crap, I can't believe they just did that. We still get some really nice, fun, lighthearted moments, especially between Logan, Xavier, and Laura. They all have great chemistry with them. To shove them all into a car driving from one end of the US to the other, this great road trip style, it makes for some really good relationships. But a great director in this bleak of a story knows that you can show these fun moments, but you also have to cut them down as quickly with some truly shocking, ambitious, and incredible plot twists and turns. What James Mangold has done with this film is just make it the best possible Wolverine story that anyone could ever tell. Every single element of the darkness and the potential of this story to go wherever it wants, freely, without compromise, of true, passionate conviction, to see a film stand so true on its own without any setup for anything else. This story is its own beast. It is James Mangold's own cinematic vision. It is Hugh Jackman at his finest. It is a great story about people believing in the power of comic books, of believing in the brighter future that those stories tell. It is a Western of modern times. It is a visceral masterwork, and it is the most perfect farewell to this character. Logan gave me everything, and it still kept giving me everything else, and it never took any credit. It simply walked away in the sunset. Logan is a truly great film, and is definitely a film that you should throw all your money at. So Logan, have you seen it? Please tell me what you think about it in the comments below. There are going to be videos linked down here, or maybe one over there. For more Mr. Movies, please press my little face right there. Thanks for watching.